I'm you guys, and this is the video response 2 of the chapter 2 of Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. Now, in this chapter, chapter 2, Scott devotes the entire chapter to the vocabulary of comics. It is more like the viewer's identification of symbols and icons. In particular, in this particular chapter, Scott explains how we as humans are so responsive to comics. Now, if you remember in the previous book by Will Eisner in Comics and Sequential Art, he tells us that the language of comics is repetitive symbols and repetitive idea, which makes the grammar of comics. In chapter 2, Scott introduces a new term called the icon, which is used to define any symbols, a thing, person, or even an idea. Now, the symbols, pictures, and even any icons that you see in comic books are all categories of icons. That's why we have this cartoons and comic books that are these universally recognizable faces, which are easy to comprehend than the realistic abstract face of a drawn man. That's why in page 30, Scott tells us, gives us a new concept called amplification through simplification, which he tells us that emphasizes that how can a simple thing be easily recognizable as the abstract realistic drawing of a person. That's why as kids, cartoons we will wish to watch so enthusiastically because they were not given a proper realistic face, more like a universally recognizable face. And that is how Scott comes through the terms abstraction and realism, where the reader can comprehend and perceive whatever comics are showing in base conclusion on whatever they see. For example, the more cartoony a face is, the more people can be used to describe it. If a cartoon is narrowed down to a person's face, I think you will only imagine that person at that drawing. But if a cartoon is drawn very simplistically, you can put many faces to it, irrespective of the gender, color, or whatever. So this is like a weird psychology dynamic that when you enter the world of comics or cartoons, you see yourself somehow. Yes. And but when you're looking at the realistic drawing or realistic drawing, the face of another person comes in and you can't really let your imagination go wild. So cartoons, so when the artist draws cartoons, your mind kind of fills up the blank. It likes to fills up the blank. It will put a new identity. It will put a new image, emotion to that thing or the cartoon. So in conclusion, the chapter 2 kind of tells us that we see ourselves in cartoons. We like to comprehend simplistic cartoons than the realistic drawing of a man or an object or whatever. So the chapter ends with a picture plan of the difference of the chart from the realistic visual image of a person to the simplistic picture of the cartoon. Thank you.